Talk. 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Do you know what happens in my life? I go out to do. You would know this, George Kingsnorth. Ray, you're welcome. He's a guy from Southern Pines.
I thought you were from Southern Pines.
No, but we live neighbors.
That's right, neighbors on Main Street.
Howdy, neighbor.
Howdy. So good to see you,
good to see you. Lovely to see you.
Yes.
But you would know about this now. Well, I was out doing a nationwide at the weekend, and the cameraman said to the interviewee, and cameramen do this all the time, and he said, the person sitting there, not quite sure what's going to happen next, being interviewed, and he's there, and the person's ready for it, and he said, tell me what you had for your breakfast this morning. The person goes, what's that about? Now, the cameraman wants to get a voice level, but it's important to say, I wish to get a sound level from you. Would you talk for 1.5 minutes, please, non-stop?
That's it.
And let them talk. So you do all the things like this here and all the rest of it. But you put up with that. But Sean is a wonderful fellow. You taught him well. We'll now switch off all mobile phones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kick him out of the studio.
It's a sign. It's a sign.
You would know that, wouldn't you?
You would think, but he does.
Sean, what the hell did
You have to fuss at me about that.
Yeah.
I have a bigger problem because this is a testimony to my approaching Alzheimer's. God help me, I'm growing older now that I'm 70. I forgot my phone today. I left my phone behind me. What a thing to do.
So when I text you this morning, you won't get it to the scene?
No, I will not. I'll get it at 11 o'clock because I want to go down.
That's if you remember.
Listen to me, William. You know, you sell diamonds on Hill Street in Newry, isn't that right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh yeah, you know.
Listen to me. I was as handsome as you are when I was your age.
Yes.
And I got into lots of trouble.
Are you trying to pick my wallet? Is that what?
No, I just want to advise you how to keep your heart happy and strong in the presence of beautiful women.
Absolutely.
Send them to me.
Oh,
that's what you do. It's that simple. It's not a problem. Don't
okay, I'll try to remember that.
So Southern Pines is great. I tell
you need to come over.
You might want to ask me about this, do you?
Oh, now what is this?
This
Your
is
school
interesting.
Project?
Yeah. I'll be very brief because people would be wondering. This is my little cross of Africa made by my children in the bush of northern Nigeria.
Yes.
And this is picked and it's sterilized and I take it home with me and I make them into little crosses. They're Christian emblem.
Yes.
You see, I'm not religious, but I hunt for God. I'm a great bear hunter and the big bear is God.
Sure.
I'm trying to find him somewhere. You don't find him in religion,
but
you find him in the stars.
Yes.
Or in the third bottle of
You're a man of philosophy. I can relate. Yes.
So here we are. And we have put 500,000 into our schools project in the last 8 years.
Oh, brilliant!
And it's their children now.
So you're doing it's a fundraiser.
I just talk to millionaires. I go out every year to make sure it's all going well.
You sound like me. I have to do that too. That's what one does as an artist in creating bleeding clouds of turpentine.
You're an artist.
Absolutely, I'm a writer. That's what brought me to here to Newry.
Put it there, baby.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we got it. Yeah, absolutely.
Bleeding clouds of turpentine. What our film is about.
Is there anybody here? Listen to me.
Yeah, which is what we came to talk about.
Don't move.
Oh my goodness.
You've got to see this. You really have. I've got this here for you, and we're going to look at this. We have plenty of time.
Okay.
There's a woman coming in to pummel my body shortly.
Oh well, I guess it'll make a good film.
Yeah, you can go with it. This is lovely because this is a fellow. We're talking. You're writing.
Absolutely.
It gets me into this.
I write poetry.
As do I.
Yes.
Yeah, we must exchange poems. When are you going back?
I'm going back in a few days.
Well, we'll get you before that.
George has me hard at work.
This is a guy called John McCarthy. John founded Mad Pride Ireland.
Yes.
The homosexual community and the lesbians, they have a thing called gay pride or whatever.
Yes.
Because I'm gay, but I'm not homosexual.
Yeah.
They stole that word from the language.
You're just jolly, yes.
Yeah, they stole the bloody word from the language. Hello, how are you? It's lovely to see you. Lovely, lovely, lovely. They stole the word from the language. Of course they did. But anyway, he invented Mad Pride Ireland because we're all on the cusp. Maybe we're mad, maybe we're not.
Yeah.
And he found
maybe you're just honest.
Word is it? But here's the sort of thing he writes, you know.
Yeah.
And this is we're talking about religion and things like this.
Yes.
And this is what he writes about the Catholic Mass.
Yes.
What have they done to the Mass? 12 lads and the messenger in a small room with timber cups and plates. Listen to the simple message. No gold, silver, no stage, no singing songs of praise, sublime, soft, sweet, perverted by greed, hate, with robes, rings, crowns, into a pantomime of the original design, by men who preach poverty from thrones of marble. What have they done to the Mass?
It's brilliant.
So John really tore the ass out of everything last year.
But that's very beautiful. There's a relevance to it.
There is, of course.
Yeah, and that's what is the value of art. If it's not to communicate something of value.
Strong. That is strong, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but that's the type of thing that might endure.
Absolutely.
The other thing about that is it might relate to people beyond just here.
Now you got it. And it's very, very important. John went and tore the ass out of the whole thing last year.
Yeah.
He went and died of motor neuron disease.
Oh my goodness.
And that was terrible.
Yeah.
If you want to die of anything, don't die of motor neuron
But
disease.
you know, we all pass on. His work lives.
His work lives.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ron,
George, hello, that's George. Hi, George. George is over there.
I'm just picking up on the little poem there. You're talking about the kind of spiritual element and some of the things you talked about a short time ago. What was interesting in working with Ray over in Southern Pines and the pine trees was the fact that a lot of the people that sort of walked through the forest there felt that they were in a church. It had that kind of spiritual presence for them. And it just gave them so much meaning just being out there and walking around. And I think we could get the same kind of thing going up on Slieve Gullion.
Oh yeah, of
when you walk through the kind of forest there. So that's the kind of commonality that kind of brought us two together.
It really is. Growing up, we referred to it as the temple of God.
Well,
to
of
be
course,
in the forest.
that inverted bowl they call the sky, we're undercooped, we live and die.
Absolutely,
and
the cap of heaven.
It is indeed. It's wonderful because do you believe in a deity of any kind? Do you believe in a God?
Of course.
Yeah, but it's only a belief. It's not a certainty. You think there is.
I actually feel myself to be a part of it in a way. I mean, I feel that. To be honest, I mean, all of my work is very spiritual.
Yeah.
The things I write about, and the things that mean something to me.
But isn't it
are very religious?
Aren't you too intelligent to believe that there is a God, but equally too intelligent to believe that there's not a God?
I have to say that in a way, I would agree with you.
Yeah,
I have that sense, yes.
And if you're certain, you're okay.
Absolutely. I feel exactly like that. But I don't see those things in conflict.
No, I don't think they're in conflict.
Because if you look at what's occurring in life and you're trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, because, you know,
it's beyond us.
This is the 68th anniversary of the dropping by the Enola Gay of the bomb on Hiroshima.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, where was God that day, George? Had he gone on holiday?
No, I think going back to the kind of the idea of is there a God? One of the things I find in my search is why do I believe? Yeah. That's my search. I can't not believe, but I do. There's Oliver Stone has done an interesting story called The Untold History of the United States.
Yes.
And he actually has a specific chapter that is completely about the dropping of the bomb.
Yeah.
And how that sort of, what goes on. We have free will.
Yeah.
And if you look at the story, there was that certain men wanted to test something out, and they used that as an occasion to test it. Yeah. So it's really the fact that we are the ones that are imperfect.
I want you on my new program, George, because we have a breeze to shoot here, and the new program is called This I Know. Mm-hmm. It's a kind of a take on Desert Island Discs.
Yeah.
And it's music. How you doing? You see the ladies here? They're going to be doing
They're
wonderful
lovely,
things.
yes.
Yeah.
You're a lucky man.
I know. My life is surrounded by women. 5 daughters, 1 wife, 2 concubines, and other things. Great men need them, don't they?
All biblical stuff, of course.
It is. Well, you know what? Have you ever seen Jack? But you'll come on my program.
How did
George,
Jack get worked into this?
You'll come on my program.
I will. Yes,
I
I'll
will.
come.
Did you ever see Jack Murphy as quiet?
As a quiet person? No, I'm surprised.
There's not a word out of him.
No, I've interviewed him. He gets very quiet when you try to interview him.
I know this.
He does. But he's very profound in what he says.
But he, you see, I want to tell you this. His daily bread comes from the stellar mass of other cosmic areas, diamonds.
Yes.
And there was a planet found recently by the Hubble telescope.
Absolutely.
Made of diamonds.
Absolutely.
And they looked very, very carefully in it, and they saw it. Murphy was here.
Absolutely. Planet Jack.
Yeah. Hi, Jack.
He hijacked it.
It's good. He did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why should I go to? I want to go to Southern Pines. I want to spend some time in Southern Pines. I like it. It sounds a good place.
So you would love it.
It sounds a chilled place.
It's interesting because on the one hand, it sounds like a southern place, but in a way, it's very universal. It's more of a village, and it's a microcosm of America.
Yeah.
So someone like Jack or others coming to Southern Pines, you might have the impression that all of the United States is like that, where it's not.
It's not. But
because we have a great concentration of a great variety of people from around the world.
Wow.
Many people with Irish connections. My neighbor has lived in Ireland, comes back and forth.
Bring me your broken, your weak, and your needy, and I'll take them in.
Yeah.
You lived to regret that, didn't you?
No. We're a land of immigrants.
Smelly, awful people.
Well, hey, that's my family came from Ireland.
Did you?
No, absolutely.
What now? What now?
County Wexford.
You're Wexford now.
Yes.
You wouldn't have been from Terramafeckin up there.
I'm not sure of the place now. You're going to have to take me there to show me around.
It's a great.
But
what I think about your nation is this, and I saw it, and I said it to Barack, and I said, look, I'm hugely pleased at what you have achieved because your head man on your campaign, a Chinese man, can't remember his name for the life of me, but he told the story that he was evidence of the American dream being extant, that it's there. And the evidence was that for the first 2 years of their life, his family life in America, they lived out of the back of the car.
Sure.
That's where they were. Sure. And this guy went on to greatness, you know, and it was fantastic. So
and that is the opportunity of America, and it's still there. Yeah. That a person of any background really can rise in America, and it is a brilliant thing. But a dream is something that has to be reborn constantly. It's not something that you can sit idly by and just expect it just to happen.
I love the way you talk like John Kennedy talked.
Well, thank you so much. It's the Irish in me, though. This is how my grandfather
Wexford.
spoke. Absolutely.
Was it Wexford?
Yes, it was.
You ready for this now? We are the boys of Wexford. We fought with heart and hand to break in twain that awful chain that did whatever to our native land. That's an anti-British song.
So, Ronan,
and I don't understand because I founded the Alliance Party.
Ronan,
okay.
Listen for sharing.
But I need to share.
I believe that. I
run out of people in Ireland. Nobody will talk to me anymore in Ireland.
Ronan, think about the words that you've just now said, that they were fighting the hand with. They were fighting with you, by the sounds of it.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you're mentioned in that song. You just said
it. We fought with heart and hand. There I am. Well, my ancestor, he wanted to capture Ulster. Yeah. And he came up and he was confronted. He actually was the lover of Maeve of Connacht. And Maeve had come up, and we needed to figure out a story. And she was coming up to conquer the entire... So she let on she was coming up to get a bull, a big bull of Cooley on Tan. Of Cooley, the great bull.
She was shooting the bull.
People bought it.
Yes,
people bought into
bought
this.
her brand of
but
bull.
if you look at the mountain of Cooley, and look at it carefully, and you show it to him today,
he will do so.
That southern mountain, that massif, looks like a bull lying down across the land with his head on its feet like that. She was coming to conquer the area, not to get a bull. So when we tried to keep her out of, I was with her, and they tried to keep us out of Ulster. That's one of my ancestors.
I believe you.
So I cut my hand off and threw it into the land of Ulster.
My goodness.
And consequently, the hand is the emblem of the red hand of Ulster today.
I'll think about that when I see it.
Not too hard, because it can be painful.
Well, no. I'm sure George will help me.
If they didn't succeed in conquering Ulster, you have.
Well, I hope so, but I want to conquer. I want to conquer me for a start, because that's back to the spiritual thing. Because we're all loose cannon in all kinds of way, you know.
Well, we all end up, you know, at the end of the road here. We have to be thinking of that too.
Well, you know what I did? I have my own headstone, and it's the most lovely piece of work. I use it. I couldn't find a grave to go with it. They won't sell me a grave until I die, which is a big assumption that someone will love me enough to buy me a grave.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have it as a headboard on my bed. And it's the most wonderful thing, and I have it there. Why do people not believe
No,
you,
I
Sean?
believe you, but living with your death is a profound teacher.
Well, it
even
is.
to
Absolutely.
you, Ron, even to you.
This is exactly
because
it.
it is what will jar you loose.
Yeah, because in the dying, in the time of the dying,
Yes.
over the 2 decades, the 3 decades, the 4 decades in my case,
or
until I
today
die,
even, or today.
he's under instructions. If I die here this morning, is to keep rolling the program.
He's got that
Yeah.
smile. I
You
know
know,
he's
he's
going to
gonna
do
do
what
it.
he's
Yeah.
been told.
And put the 9mm down. Don't be pointing it at me, baby.
Now, Ron, I have a question for you.
Yes, I'll answer any question you ask.
I believe you.
I will.
What
I'm
is it
stood
that
by.
you want to find in Southern Pines? Why are you curious about my land? What do you want from this place? Because I want you to come over, but I want you to
Yeah.
tell me what
I'll
am
tell
I
you what
to
I
show
want.
you there?
I'll tell you what I want.
What will I show you?
I want a very simple thing.
Yeah.
It's part. The world has bored me. I was put in prison in Bangkok at the age of 19.
Yes.
For a child, never mind why I was put in prison. Well, it was all good. It was a good reason. It was a 19-year-old's reason.
Sure.
Put in prison for refusing to pay an interesting lady of the evening. She wasn't of merchantable quality.
Oh, yes.
No, she was yeah, she wanted me to buy champagne. I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
I've had that offer.
Yeah, you know yourself. It's
Yeah,
not
it
an
was
offer
in- it
you
was
want.
in Vienna.
Yeah. Well, I was put in jail for Big Rab and I. Rab was the electrician on the
Yeah.
other ship. I was the radio officer.
Yeah.
And we did a runner. But we were copped, as they say in Ireland.
Sure.
But anyway, I've been all over the world, and I'm still trying to find out some place that will make me go, wow. And this is answering my questions, this place, whatever it is. And part of the question is, the real question is, where am I going? Where is this journey taking me? Back to the spiritual thing again. I need to know that more than I need to win the lotto.
The greatest place you can be is right now.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
you- I think
in
you
the now,
can-
being
absolutely.
here. But you still
Yes.
have to go, the journey
Because that's
continues.
the place everyone's trying to escape.
No, I'm happy in the now that I have. But I know the now needs to go on to the tomorrow and the future and needs to take me forward on the journey.
I think that's an opiate. I'm sorry, Ron.
Is it?
I do not agree with you at all.
Well, I like opiate. Why
Well,
not?
you seem to,
Yeah,
yes.
it's good.
But no,
fresh
when
air is the greatest opiate of all. But don't you?
It's among them.
Yeah. You're really thinking that the now, the contentment
That's
with
all
the
you
now
have.
is nirvana.
No, I did not say that.
But that's what you're
No,
indicating.
no, I am not. You
Yeah.
put a label on it. I didn't do
Yeah.
that.
But
Yeah,
happiness.
nothing
you're
is
telling
better
me,
than something.
But
I'm
I think,
sorry.
Yeah,
I don't
but
agree
you're
with you
trying
at
to tell
all.
me. You're actually trying to tell me here that I shouldn't want to go forward exploring. I should be content in some way with the now.
I'm telling you in a certain way it's irrelevant.
Why is it irrelevant?
Because all you
Help me.
have is now.
Yeah.
All you have is what is right now, and that's all you're ever guaranteed.
Yeah.
And so much of our lives is spent chasing a cat's tail.
Yeah.
And everyone is telling themselves some type of story constantly.
Yeah. And that's religion, very often.
Often it's religion. It's the narrative that we share, and it can be very beautiful or destructive. But if you can let go and stop and just be in the present moment, there's a beauty to it that is quite profound, even if something awful, if a war is happening or a bomb
Yeah.
is being dropped.
There is.
Because we have no control of
Yeah,
that.
but there is a beauty to it, as you say. But there is also the accompanying responsibility, I think,
Absolutely.
on caring human beings to help people go forward on their journey. And that takes you out of your now if you want to try and transmit that notion.
I actually think it just becomes an aspect of it. It becomes a manifestation of it.
Yeah.
But for me, just in my own, everyone's life is hard. You know, for
Yeah.
me, just to make sense of my own life and the
Oh,
things that I've
yeah.
experienced,
Yeah.
it's a constant turning inward is the only way I can explain it, and that is why I love the forest. That's why I love the woods.
Yeah, I
because
love
to
all
me,
of that. Yeah.
But it is the temple of
I
God.
think if you can focus on the now, we do tend to plan and we do tend to fill our lives up quite often with things that are worthless. And if you constantly plan and plan and plan, and you're not open to the happy accidents that occur, and quite often it's the happy accidents that produces the richness to what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
And if you can be still and open to what's actually happening at that moment, you can find a richness in life that I think a lot of preparation doesn't necessarily give you. So
I understand
sometimes,
this.
yeah, I think.
But I also think that in that stillness, you're gaining the strength to go to the next chapter, the next level. I think it's a laziness, a spiritual laziness, to recline in the now and allow it to wash over you. I think there are challenges out there to love your neighbor in the way that you're instructed to love your neighbor.
I believe
and that
that
requires
fully.
you that requires you to get out of the hammock and get your ass in gear out of the now and go with people, you know.
Yeah.
But I think again that there's a sort of stillness. I mean, I remember a time sort of lots of problems going on in my head, lots of things happening, and I just heard a voice that said, "Could you help me take my wheel off my car and change the tire?" And all of a sudden I was back to the now. And all of a sudden there was a richness in that moment. And that gave me the opportunity. It's actually doing something than sometimes being totally internal. I think if you are there in the presence and you're allowed to absorb what's going on around you, you can actually achieve a lot more, and you can see what other people need more. And the focus then stops being on you, which becomes the internal if you're constantly.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I approve of it entirely, and that I would share that view. So why do I want to go to Southern Pines? I want to experience people. I want to experience the air you breathe, the forest you walk in. I want to tie into that and expand my own awareness of humanity. That's why I want.
You should see Bleeding Pines of Turpentine.
Really?
I'm serious, in the film. Because the truth is, I'm actually very astonished. Not that I didn't expect the film to turn out well, but the fact that here I can, it's a miracle how I ended up here. It truly is. I mean, I was in a church in this ancient place in the town I live in, and Jack and the people from Sister Cities walk in, see what we're doing, and we literally are pouring our hearts into a story about who we are.
Wow.
And he invites us here. The aspiration of my heart, walking in the forest. Here I am writing poetry, and it's me thinking in terms of God and the Spirit and the very things you're speaking about, Ron. And it's as though I was praying and reaching out for someone that could help me tell the story.
Wow.
And I met George, and it has been a perfect encounter. It has worked well.
You must listen to what I'm going to tell you now.
Yes.
My project in northern Nigeria.
Yes.
I have the words written.
Yes.
I have 100,000 words. I have 3,000 images over 10 years, as you would expect.
I'd love to see
And
this.
it's all there.
Yes.
And, you know, you need to be some kind of strange creature to get published by the big publishing houses.
It's true, isn't it?
And
yes.
I've no time for that. This has got to be a document of record. Nothing to do with making money. And I didn't know how I was going to do this.
Yes.
Everything's ready to go. Press the switch and it goes.
Yes.
Meeting him for coffee, he says, "I'm a publisher."
Yes.
Suddenly he's going to publish
He's
a
very
book.
gifted.
And I said, well, the only thing I want to make sure of that it's high quality.
Yes.
It's hardback.
It's a hardback copy.
And it's stitched. So because this is the story of people's lives.
Ron,
it's
I had
last.
poor George Kingsnorth. When he encountered me at Warren Point, he had no idea what he was in for. The journey I've taken him on, the people he's met. But basically, our story is a very nuanced story, and it is very spiritually based. And in fact, my philosophy is very similar to yours.
I think so,
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And so it is expressed through this work. George has had to learn so very much about a foreign world. And what I warned him about is if you get this wrong, people will not forgive you because it is what is in our heart.
Oh, yeah.
And it's profoundly important, and he is nailing it. He is getting it right. And it's a very hard thing. And in America, the film I'm working on, it means so much because of our homeland, because of the forest. We are the people of this forest.
Wow.
And it was a 90 million acre forest that we nearly destroyed ourselves. Wow. And it was our economy. It was turpentine, and we nearly consumed it.
Wow.
And then all we do as a people is try to save it.
Yeah.
And so it's as though we're reaping our karma in a way. Our forebears destroyed the place, and we almost destroyed ourselves. And in a way, there is a type of relationship between us and Ireland. If you think about it.
There's a similarity of people, of ideas.
It's a human story. It's not
absolutely.
What has happened here.
It's
the same human story that's gone on throughout time. It echoes throughout time.
And you know, that's why the sister city idea
it's brilliant.
is such a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Because there's a constancy of exchange and of kind of two communities breathing together.
It's true.
That can lead to anything.
It's true. And see, a person like you, Ron, I would love for you to meet my neighbor. He is an amazing spiritual teacher.
Wow.
And he is one of the most amazing people I have ever encountered. But our town is full of people like this, and it's a very special place. Denise Baker.
We met her. She was in.
Denise Baker is one of the most rare and amazing human beings you are ever going to encounter. And her ability to bring people together, and what Jack said last night, the value of Sister Cities is one person becoming friends with another and then building a better world. And so George and I are committed to working long term. I'm currently introducing George to my friends in America who are wanting to work with him. and it's growing. It's as though we're creating this very beautiful fabric, and it's poetry.
Wow.
At this point, think of how astounding this is, Ron. I'm a poet. I write in a very archaic version of poetry. It's something that my grandfather would have loved. My poetry at this point has been heard by hundreds of thousands of people. That I find very amazing. And the truth is, it came because of my connection here. The way Ireland worked into it and the fact that it had meaning here, it's as though the people where I come from now look at it differently. They see it framed differently. Yeah. And it's given me a greater platform. Yeah.
And are they, they're aware, the Southern Pines population, are they aware of the extent of the outreach to Newry, or is it a mystery to them?
It is widespread, and our council is very supportive. Our tax structure in America provides for funding in a way that is different from other places in the world. And so an artist can find funding. It's extremely competitive and a lot of work in it, but it really helps us. Kickstarter, which George is going to begin using, will start helping people internationally more, and you should look into that, Ron, for your creative work.
Yeah, I shall.
But but what's happening now with using the medium of film, your work can become widespread, and so yes, the story of Sister Cities, once this film launches in America, it will become very widespread.
Okay,
Ron, can I say,
Jack, yes?
at a totally different level, and I mean, someone that you're going to have in next week and the following week when they come back is young Sean Ryan.
Oh yes, he's on the exchange. He's out there.
Well, the Ryan family had a terrible ordeal on the way out. They missed their flight, and so they were rerouted all over the place. And when they arrived, their luggage was missing.
Wow.
And again, the beauty of Sister City. I mean, Denise rolled in behind, got organised, helped them out, and then unfortunately the golf clubs were missing for a few days, so young Sean couldn't practice.
Yeah.
But, with the help of Sister City and the whole thing, they had a number of evenings together. But I think Sean probably was the best supported golfer for the children, because Denise had rolled the
Southern Pines populace.
Yeah, the red carpet.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I mean that sort of exchange is magic. And I mean, we're going from different levels of a poet here.
It's all there. It's all there. It's all there. How do people? You know, we're coming to the end of this chat. I hope we might catch you before you go back.
Oh, I would love to talk to you again.
We'll do our best on this.
Yes.
How do people find out and patch into Sister Cities? What do we do? How do people contact the philosophy?
Well, I mean, we've got an AGM coming up on the 16th. But I mean, there will be publicity about there's publicity out there at the moment we're looking for people to go out and play golf.
There's a website.
In October.
Yeah.
There's a website, and also we're organising that exchange of the young students, the 15 and 16-year-olds. So
what is the website? Can you remember it?
It's just Sister Cities, Newry, sistercities.com.
Sistercities.com. That's it.
But I mean,
Jack.
But also, don't forget this film festival.
Oh yeah.
When is that
coming?
It starts on the 16th of September.
Well, we're into it now. We're going to start rolling it out.
Well, we've just completed a promotional video, which we'll send you a link to next week, and I'll come on again and talk about it. Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much indeed.
Oh my goodness.
Namaste. Go well.
Namaste.
God bless you.
God bless you.
I would say God bless you if there is a God.
That is
and
true.
I hope there is.
You're going to make me think.
Namaste. Namaste. Take care. Music and body healing coming shortly. After, what kind of music are we going to play now, Sean? John Denver and Calypso, off the back of our